Welcome to the Chasing Your Dreams podcast, a place for you to find the wisdom and powerful strategies for overcoming obstacles and making your dreams come true. Here is your host, Eric Hall.
Welcome back to the Chasing Your Dreams podcast. I'm your host, Eric Hall. Please like, subscribe, comment, anything to really help the channel grow. Today, I'll be introducing everyone to Kelvonte Smith, one of the coaches that coached with me at 71st High School. He's more than a coach. You know, today I'll let you learn a lot about his dream on and off the field, some of the things he's still chasing. But without further ado, man, we've been trying to get this thing together for a while anyway. So let's get it, man. I'll let you introduce yourself.
How you doing? I'm Kelvonte Smith, from Fayetteville, North Carolina. I coach the linebackers out at 71st High School out here in Fayetteville, North Carolina. What else am I?
Keep going. Tell me everything about who you are.
I went to 71st High School, graduated from Trinity. I'm a military veteran. I went to the military after graduating from Trinity, where I played football at as well. I was 92 Alpha, which was logistics. I was stationed out there in Fort Hood the whole time in Texas, which is, Lord, that took some getting used to. But it was a great time, man. It was a great time out there being a war veteran as well. That changed my life being a war veteran, you know, because I got injured out there. But being a war veteran out there and coming back home and getting into coaching football shortly once I came back home. And after that, started off in rec football. Shout out to Coach Brown at there at Westover Recreation. And after that, getting moved up in the ranks. Then went into AAU football after that with Coach Mitch and the Wolverines. And, winning, starting my winning traditions there. And then getting in with them over a couple of years with 12U, and then starting my own 14U with Brad, Austin, and developing there. And then from there, I started my 14U there, and then linking up with Penny and the Wildcats and winning championships. I won the championship. I take that back. I won the championship with Brad 14U, my first one. We brought that back home with a plethora of D1 players that's out there in college football now. And then, like I said, linking up with Penny, and, I'm winning 7 straight. And then God blessed me with an opportunity to be with 71st after that.
Appreciate that, man. Sure. Yeah. Appreciate that. A wide history, man. You know more behind the man. So I'm gonna unpack that for you, man. Let everybody kind of understand more who you are, and kind of, let's go back to the beginning before I start to really find out some of the things that really motivate you. Okay. You leave high school, man. What ultimately led to the decision to go into the military?
To be honest with you, really what bundled that up is, me not growing up with a father figure in the household. My real first big time father figure outside of my uncles and my granddad is my football coach, Coach Chuck out there, Coach Chuck and Coach Tubbs, those guys out there at Trinity, which they're still at Trinity, those guys really, really took me under their wing and kind of just like pushed it. I had a child early in high school. And them having that decision, and I, college, going to college to play football was an option as well, but then you had to, I had to step up. I had to step up and be an adult. So taking that decision to go into the military, and then, like I said, having that father figure, having somebody to help me make that decision, and also, like I said, having to step up to be a dad, because I never I never had that. I never had nobody to talk to. I never had anybody to actually divulge in and actually, actually like really like, hey man, come over here and talk to me, or because they made it they made it available for me to talk to them on off days. It wasn't football. We wasn't doing weightlifting. I could call him. I call Coach Chuck or call Coach Tubbs and actually have a conversation with them. Coach Heath as well. But I could also talk to them during. It wasn't football. It wasn't. It was. After I graduated, I could also talk to them. So that was a real time in my life where I was struggling, and I really didn't know what to do. I really was scared, and I wasn't coming from a privileged childhood. It was just me and my brother and my mom, and coming up in that household, it was just, they made it, those coaches really, really, really looked out for me. So yeah, that was a big, those was big influences in my life. And I talk to those guys to this day.
Oh, absolutely. And then I heard something else there, man. I lost my father early on in life, man. And then, you just gave your mom. I know your mom having to raise you and another sibling, man. I know that could have been rough, as well. And the challenges that come along with that, man. Let's give your mom a shout out and tell me a little bit about your mom while you're on.
Shout out to my mom. Her birthday just passed. So happy birthday again, Mom. Sylvia Sinclair Smith, but shout out to my mom, Duke. She held it down. My grandma passed away which is Betsy Smith. My grandma passed away in 2021. Actually, it was like right before I got offered a job at 71st. So she never got to see me watch the game. Wow. She been here. It was maybe a week before I got offered 71st. So she never got to watch it. She been there in spirit, but my mom been holding down the family since then, the entire family since then, really. But in the sense of what my grandma used to do. But my mom, she been, man, since day zero, since April 22nd, 1988. Since she used to actually run track at St. Augustine.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she she was a little athlete too. She had a little time out there because my brother went and played football out there. My younger brother did, but yeah, she definitely did it, and she held us down. It was so funny because when my brother played, a funny story about her when our senior years, because I had to reclass when I went to Trinity. My mom would come first and second quarter to the Trinity game and then drive during halftime to make my brother game third and fourth quarter. She did it. She made it work. Yeah, she made it work. She made it work. Hey, she made it work. And now she comes to every game. She comes to every 71st game on Friday nights. So shout out to her.
Kudos, Mom.
Kudos, Mom. She come from Raleigh every Friday. She come all the way from Raleigh. So
I appreciate that as well, man.
Yeah.
So, I always want to make sure we give them their flowers, man, because I always, lead to the fact that no one does it alone. Everybody needs support. And, man, it's great to have that support system, man, even to this day.
Absolutely.
Tying it together for you, man, you went ahead and gave your coaches a shout out. And you do have a rich history here, man, that started on the AAU level, recreation level. Ultimately, that whole rim, you have a hand in it some kind of way. And I've been messing with you, joking with you about the time, about that history since we've been together, man. Yeah. But today, man, let's talk about it a little bit, man, because I know you poured a lot into those young men out there. And like you said, you have guys now playing on the college level that you used to coach out there.
Yeah.
When they were little bitty kids before you ever even came up in high school. But let's just talk about that, how pivotal that is in those kids' life, that whole realm of playing AAU, whether it's recreational ball, AAU, anything in that circuit, the importance of them really starting to just get out and develop. What's your thoughts on that? And you can talk even more about your own perspective and experience.
I think going into that, because, the way North Carolina itself, I don't know about other states, but the way North Carolina itself teaches and treats middle school ball, that's why I think travel ball caught flame so big here. Going into travel ball, seeing those guys that I used to coach, I'm seeing them on TV now, Khalil Jacobs, he's out there in Missouri, or Kamari Baldwin, he's out there in James Madison. you see those guys that, they're big time guys, and they're, they playing at these big D1s and are successful. And you realize, like, hey man, I remember when these guys weren't, they weren't at certain positions, or they didn't know certain positions. They didn't know how to do this. They didn't know how to read. They didn't know how to do this. So you're that first coach to actually teach them how to do this, or actually even put certain things in their heads, like, hey, you have to go when you're going into the next level. You're not necessarily that high school coach that actually is going to mold every single thing into them. But when they go on to the high school level, you want to be able to, because some guys that you get, you might get a guy that we got now, like a John, that didn't know three technique or a 3-point stance when I got him. Mm-hmm. But I was able to teach him, at 6'4", a 3-point stance, because he didn't know that at first. Mm-hmm. So, and then when he gets to the high school level, now he's molded, and now he got, as a 15-year-old, he gets offered Georgia. Mm-hmm. So it kind of like, you think to yourself, if he would have never got touched there, he goes to a high school and doesn't even know what a zero technique is. Mm-hmm. So it's just, it's certain things like that you think to yourself, like, sometimes they don't know certain things. So I feel like travel ball with the right coaches. And then even now, like some of the coaches out there now, the CAAs, the CAAs, the NCUs, the PTEs, those the CBOs, those organizations, they're really important to how the game is changing all the way around. How the game is changing all the way around for high school ball. North Carolina, Fayetteville, Charlotte, Raleigh, a lot of those organizations are helping change because of those the schools, the kids that are coming out of there. So, like, it's just crazy because the kids are not coming out one at a time. It's a wave. It's a wave of, like, those 8-year-olds. It's about 10 of those 8-year-olds that's coming out, 10, 12, 15 of those 8-year-olds that's coming out in the next 4 to 5 years that we're going to see, that I see on Saturdays when I go see my nephew play, that is like, oh my Lord.
Yeah, we good.
Like,
we keep them together, keep them out of trouble.
Exactly. You keep them out of, and then that's another thing too. I want to highlight that because sadly, man, it's some guys that I didn't get to, you didn't get to see play because in Fayetteville, the crime rates is like that. Mm-hmm. So I had guys that played with some of our guys, or some guys that I coached on that 2020 CAA team that, I know some guys that were killed on that team. They didn't get to play, sadly. And these are D1 guys. But you got D1 guys that made, the Rays and the Landon Sargents and the Quinns and those guys, but you got other guys like, it's a 6'3" wide receiver that's in Battle Magazine named Leroy. He never got to play. He lived up there in Greensboro. He was on parole. Like you just said, keeping them out of trouble. That's another avenue to keep these kids, especially with this new media wave, that keeps them out of trouble. And I feel like with this, keeping them together, keeping them friendships together, is a new wave to keep them out of trouble. Like, it's a new wave to say, hey, look, you got something to actually play for and actually something to look towards, instead of, hey man, you just go out there in the streets and you be the new thug, or the new gangster out here. So yeah.
And that's the truth. We do. Every team we've had here, we've lost players off of that team, whether it be behavior, to the streets, whatever the case may be.
Yep.
And some of them, people don't even realize how talented they are, right? Like, some of our most talented teams haven't had probably some of the best players that probably would have been out there as part of those teams. Even now, even though we're good and dominant, we're legit missing quality players that came into the program that would have really helped us propel and be even better.
Yeah, absolutely.
When I think back over, that freshman class when they came in, man, phew, it was pretty loaded, man. But I get you getting emotional about that because it's hard as a coach, man, to see, your players not make it, whether they don't make it to, the next level, whether if they dream to go to college or whatever the case may be, they're not able to go on and do that, or they lose their lives just in the sense of somebody killing them in the streets or themselves putting themselves in the wrong situation, whatever the case may be.
Yep.
Them not being with us is detrimental, right?
Yep.
Or just losing their life in general, to anything, whether just any sickness, anything that's unforeseen, anything, because we like to see all our kids going to be successful when they come through us, no matter what. Even the kids that be getting in trouble, me, I'm always the coach. They say I'm the one giving them a chance. Like I'm always fighting for us to see because they don't know yet what they will ultimately become. We give them that opportunity, man. So I can get you getting emotional, man, talking about players that you lost, because it's never easy, when you're going through that, man, and it never will. And I like the ideal, man, and even the truth about keeping these kids out of trouble, man, because as a therapist, I'm ultimately trying to put kids into things like pro-social activities. One of those activities is like what you do out there when you was out there, like the AAU circuit, put them into football, even if it's basketball around that time, whatever the case may be, keeping them busy, trying to get them into different things. It's more things to do in Fayetteville, North Carolina than just get in trouble, man. And there's got to be a consistent message across the board that others got to help us continue to push. Along those lines, man, lately here, man, you moved up to the ranks. A lot has been talked about before we even talk about the season and your journey here to 71st, because we'll tell them a good story about how you got on the 71st. But along the ranks and everything that comes with the responsibilities, man, just how have you grown in managing the year to year?
Like, you talking about growing inside of 71st?
Yeah.
Growing inside of 71st has been it's been spectacular, man. I find this to be, it's so much like family. I've been the little brother here. I'm finally the little brother here. So, me and my brother, I've always been a big brother. My brother's always kind of done what I've done, and and I love him, man. That's my, shout out to my little brother. Shout out to Kelvin. But being here is so much. I've been able to learn so much in being in 71st, whether it's the coaches on the other side,
mm-hmm.
and learning from the O-line coach or the running backs coach, Coach Tompkins or Coach Covert, or Coach Kyle when he was there, or Jew, or Harris, learning from Harris. Definitely, then you come back, on our side, and or Townsend as well. Then you come back on our side and learning and really just learning from y'all when it comes down to just like whether it's big stuff like game day stuff, learning from you and Henry and Coach DJ. If it's big stuff like we talking about game day stuff, we talking about what are you calling? Why are you calling it?
Mm-hmm.
Or if it's intricate stuff like little intricate stuff like when we watching film. Hey, did you see that? Did you see what he did? Did you see what this team did, or why this team did it? Or when we run in formations, why are we not called? This is the reason why at practice we're running formations. We're not running plays. We run in formations.
We ain't give nobody the blueprint.
Yeah, look, exactly. Look, that's why I gotta stop right there. But look, it's certain things that I'm learning that is just like you sit back and it's just like every day is learning. Every day is that learning, whether we're joking or we're not joking, whether we laughing or not laughing. And that's why I say it's a family, because that's stuff that I didn't know all the time. That's stuff that I didn't understand. And then, the stuff we laugh and joke about. And then it's just learning. So learning through literally from year to year to year to year, it's like my brain is just like boom, boom, boom. It's just growing. And I mean, that's one of the biggest blessings, honestly. And then also from that, creating that brotherhood. creating that brotherhood, just being able to, because there's been times I've been able to pick up the phone and just been like, hey man, hey, blah 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 blah, just being able to talk. When I first got there, my first coaching shirt was from you. It wasn't from the school.
Absolutely.
So it's just, just stuff like that, just talking and, things like that, just having that, like I said, having that brotherhood, that bond as well. So, whether, or because we didn't have some good time, we didn't have some bad time, we didn't have some emotional times, so even down to that, even down to talking to the players as well and how to handle certain situations also, that's also helped as well. So definitely just growing through the ranks and creating that and then also learning. Mm-hmm. So because at some point ain't nobody in the world gonna be coaching forever.
Absolutely.
So when it's time, when time comes and it is time for me to go left and you to go right and that person to go straight and this person to go, I will be able to say, hey man, I'm comfortable with doing this now, or I'm comfortable with going that way now. You know what I'm saying? So that's one blessing I have definitely learned.
Man, well, y'all be listening, gonna be able to tell he definitely been around me for sure. We do talk more than just about the game of football, and life in general and growth. And I'm actually gonna get y'all to some of the things he's actually doing, here later on. But even on the field, man, how did I end up getting Kelvonte Smith? Interesting story. Coach Mack, when I lost my linebacker coach, he actually came to me and told me, man, we got like 5 people. I want you to talk to all of them. And I never got past number 1, which was Kelvonte Smith, because he reminded me so much of myself when he actually came to me, man, and was talking about football. He had his own little playbook on paper that he had to drew out. So I said, the first thing we're going to do is get this thing a little more organized, and I'm going to make sure you on point, man. So his growth has been, I can't say enough about it. Like, he's put in the work, he's put in the time, he's put in the effort to be great. And it's yielded great results, man. I know one of the things you've been passionate about, your linebackers, your coastal linebackers, they've been very good from day one. Shoot, you probably got the highest win percentage on the staff since you joined, because you joined since you've been winning. That's the joke on the staff. Yeah. He came when we were winning, but he definitely has done a great job with those guys, man. And he's had right now, Jameson was Defensive Player of the Year.
Yep.
You had DJ, who's also Player of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
You've had multiple All-State players.
Ray.
You had Ray. You had Isaac. You had a great group of guys that has made it, man. I mean, even those guys that developed, like Ratliff, I'm calling out their last name, but they know who they are. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've had a great core group of guys, man. How has it been pointing to those guys, watching them develop, and then seeing it actually pay off with some of the accolades and stuff that they've been getting?
Yeah, in college, Jameson being all CIAA. Ray getting starting reps at his D1 college, and I really feel again it's a blessing, because the guys that I got, I mean, I'm not gonna we're not gonna sugarcoat it. The guys that I got, they was already Jameson. They was already stars.
They can play.
But with that being said, it's just again, just because I mean, man, come on, man. Every coach, you learn from your players as well. Mm-hmm. You learn. If you find me a coach that say he ain't learned from his players, I mean, can I meet him? Let me see who he is, because you learn from your players as well. But also though too, I came in coined to wanting to be LBU. I called it from the very beginning. I never forget. We went to a 7-on-7. And it was a school out there. I'm not gonna call it a school out, but it was a school out there. We was getting we came out there for work. We came out there for work. It wasn't a central focus of ours, that 7-on-7. And I remember a team scored on us, and in the background we heard that's supposed to be LBU. I never forget that. I never forget that. Hall was standing right beside me. I never forget that. And from there, we took that season completely all the way head on. And I remember we made it all the way to regionals. And that year, we had the best linebacker. Well, I mean, we had the previous year too. But that year, we had the best linebacker core, and we was top 3 in defense. Like, and we have been that for the last 4 years. Like, we've either been number 1 or top 3. We haven't fell out of that top 3, and linebackers have been top in tackles, and I wanted to coin in the versatility and all of that stuff. Our linebackers can we tackling, we sacking, we intercepting the ball. We doing what we got to do, and I just wanted to coin that. I think I have the best linebacker core. We can check the stats against anybody that want to check the stats against me. I think I had the best linebacker core on this side of the Mississippi.
Absolutely. now they get to hear how we feel about them.
Yeah.
And there's a myth out there that we don't tell college coaches this, how we feel about our players.
Anybody.
So let's address it.
Anybody. Coach, anybody. And you heard I said, and I know this gets circulated and all that stuff. You heard I said, I did not say North Carolina. I said the Mississippi. Okay? That's any state. This side of the Mississippi, I think I had the best linebacker core this side of the Mississippi. Okay? That's the last 4 years. That was Jameson. That was Ray. That was Ratliff. That's Isaac. That's DJ. That's DJ. That's X. That's Malik. That's Zay. That's that's Indiana.
Any of them you can think of.
Yeah, I mean, I can keep calling that's Cam. I can keep calling them, even the ones that's still developing.
Yes,
Angel, that's all of them. Marlo, I can keep going. So, like I said, man, we now God has been blessing us, so I'm humble about it. But at the same time, I'm going to speak to our guys, because our guys, they work hard. They work hard. It don't come easy. So
they do, and we definitely care about what goes on with them on and off the field. Man.
Absolutely.
So to address some of those things, we do as coaches, we do send out emails, we do make phone calls, we talk to coaches, we let them know what we feel players' strengths and weaknesses are. If they ask us any particular questions, we ask them that. But man, honestly, truthfully, man, in the off season, we probably had more colleges come through here than we have in years, and I think it's going to continue going in that direction. I guess the problem that comes in is that for some reason, people feel like we can make a college coach offer a kid when that's not how it works.
Absolutely. Especially with this transfer portal now. Absolutely not. Transfer portal it make it kind of 10 times harder a little bit, but you know what I always say about stuff like that, this is the sad part. It's going to be sad what I'm about to say, but anybody that honestly thinks, hey man, that coach is not working this hard or this is not happening. Look at the college in the city or closest to the city. Have y'all realized Fayetteville State ain't really Fayetteville State or Pembroke or Campbell? I'm talking about not just 71st right here, not just this, but we won in the city. We have not lost the game so far in the city for 4 years. For 4 years so far. And Pembroke, Campbell, and Fayetteville State together haven't really offered none of our players like that. Have y'all realized that? Campbell just started offering scholarships.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I'm saying, that all together, those 3 schools. I'm not dissing them. I'm not disrespecting them or anything of their coaching staffs or anything like that. I'm just saying offering wise, they haven't in the last 4 years. You know what I'm saying? And 71st we've had the same rotation of guys the last 4 years. For us to be winning and been a winning program, it's just, that's all I'm saying. Stuff like that. We haven't got any, and for Campbell and Pembroke to be D1, and then y'all come, we always get that from the parents. Are y'all really talking to these coaches? Are y'all really?
Exactly.
So just, that's just a thing to put out there before we start talking about you know, have y'all called Florida to come up here, or have y'all called Texas to come up here?
Absolutely.
Because that's what we'll get.
And anywhere within our reach, man, you know, we go to coaching clinics, we go to everything to network.
I promise you.
We do anything possible, man. And it ain't a coach that I ran into that I haven't mentioned. I got a great linebacker right now, Donovan Frederick. I believe he's the best. I believe everything in him. I've even had coaches that have came to see him, you know, for whatever reason, you know, they have their expectations that may differ from mine. Same thing with like our quarterback, man. I feel like he's one of the best with what he puts out there. I mean, DeAndre Nance, he has been done, he has done, but everybody has different expectations and they fit these kids into different things. But all in all, man, sometimes I think something get missed, man, because it's a difference between having no offers and not necessarily having a high ranking offer, because kids can make it from anywhere almost now. Like you see kids, I've seen kids more than ever now making it from Division II level. You have, look at the NFL roster, you have multiple people in there from a Division II school that's playing in the league. I don't ever remember that happening.
No.
These 1AA schools now, they all play in Division I big time schools on their schedule. But even if you just look in life in general, man, players that's been playing in college, that doesn't mean if it was at a lower level college, they don't go and have great lives, man. I played at Fayetteville State and I'm happy. I'm living a great life, but I look back at my teammates, man, it's so many guys off of that team that are doing great things in the community or the communities that they're in. We have guys that's left Fayetteville, they're in California, they're overseas, they're doing multiple different things. Sometimes, man, you got to understand the heads up you get in life going to school for free. Like, you cannot poo-poo on a scholarship offer that is allowing you to go to school for free. A coach that is betting on you, telling you, I'm willing to invest this into you because I believe just as much in your future. That future, you don't know how much that is until you come out of school with that bachelor's degree and you start out with a clean slate. Do you want to go get your master's? Do you want to go to work? Whatever. You're not having to pay back those student loans, which now sets you behind many times in life because it limits to what you can realistically do. I think that's often overlooked. What's your thoughts on that?
I feel the exact same way. Actually, to go back, the player I used to coach on the Broncos, my first state championship that we brought back, Khalil Jacobs. You go back and look at his stuff. Khalil went to South Alabama first, and now he don't only play but start at Missouri. I don't understand about the same thing you just said. Not only going to school for free, but why do you take out the transfer part? You know, this is 2024. They do that all the time. So you can easily go to North Carolina A&T, D1, great program, great school, especially for engineering or something like that. And why not have a good season up there and transfer? The player that we were talking about earlier, Jameson, that used to play for us. He went to St. Augustine. He had a great season. Transferred. He's at Winston-Salem State. He is extremely happy right now, and he is doing great there. So I don't, I just don't understand why the punch out the head is like, oh man, if my kid doesn't go here, then he's not successful.
Not true.
I don't get that. Why that is not in the head. Like, if he doesn't go here, if he doesn't go to this particular school, he's not successful. Or the part of go here, be successful, and then transfer. That can happen too. That is part of life. You can do that too. Or again, like I said, if he doesn't go, if he chooses another school, he can still be successful there.
Absolutely,
that's life.
Part of life, man, and that's part of the pressure we deal with here as coaches, man. It ain't only about the wins on the field, because that's all ultimately what we go through. We haven't really lost a lot, but, the losses as well. We're really trying to grow young men. Ultimately, all of our kids, the truth is, all of them kids are not going to play college ball, and all of them are definitely not going to go on to play on Sundays in the NFL. What are we doing? We're trying to build character. We're trying to make sure that these guys are ready for life. They can go get great careers and live meaningful lives. The life, man, like, I don't want my players basing their success in life based upon what they do on the football field. I don't care if it's good or bad. I want them still prepared for life, man. Give me your perspective, Coach, because you know how I get by this.
And I completely agree with you. Like, for instance, this is back in 2021. One of the top linebackers we had, he was a top linebacker, all conference in Isaac. Isaac did not. He had a scholarship. Didn't want to go play football because Isaac was more in the culinary side.
Mm-hmm.
And that was fine because he chose education. We had a player that we just saw Friday night in Isaiah Harrington. Isaiah Harrington chose that he didn't want to play football no more. He went into the military, and he looks amazing now.
Yes.
But Isaiah chose that, and he went to the military. He was a genius. He was smart. He did the whole Science Olympiad stuff. And you know what, Isaiah, shout out to you. He came back after he got out of basic, and he's not only that, he went to school in the Navy.
Yes.
So Isaiah, shout out to Isaiah, man. Like, again, he looked amazing when he got there. He came to see us at the game and stuff like that. So again,
and this is stuff they don't see. Honor student.
Yeah, honor student.
Honor student. Really great kid. Fought injury all last year.
Absolutely.
Actually was a starting defensive tackle. People don't know that.
Yeah, he didn't. You think he didn't have to go into the Navy?
Yeah,
he had the grades to get into school and play football, but he did what he needed to do, and he went to the Navy, and he played. He's like I said, he's actually went to basic, and then he also chose to go to school in the Navy as well. So shout out to Isaiah. Like, this is what people don't understand and don't see sometimes when that conversation is brought up sometimes.
So yeah, definitely shout out, because I done told him a million times after the fact. It's hard to tell a kid when he going through something like he was going through his senior year, but he definitely put his ego aside for the betterment of the team.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows ultimately what would have ended up happening if he's healthy for a full season. But hey, great stuff for taking Big John up under your wing.
Yeah, he did.
He did. And I think along the lines of like a player like Josiah Harper, man, he was legit for me. Kid tears ACL. I mean, that's a shoe-in Division I height, size, everything. And then he tears his ACL, man. But look how he fought back through that injury. And now he's playing on the college level, really getting that leg stronger. And I think he's going to be on fire one day here at Central. But he went on to school. I look at somebody like Hector that attacked that injury, man. And me telling him every day as his coach, look, man, I want to make sure you walk off this field your senior year still being able to live, because you got to live in this body. Yeah. See, these are the conversations that people don't know about, but these are great players that's attacking this stuff that who knows at some point, no matter what, the game is going to end, or they're going to be prepared for life.
Yeah, he actually talking about going to the military too.
See? And a lot of people, I mean, we can go on and on and on about just this in general, man, because this is what we do. This is the day-to-day. We get to kick back, as we prepare for this last stretch before the playoffs. But all in all, man, this is your journey, man. We're talking about today, man. Outside the game of football. The game of football. I know you're in school now. What are you in school for?
I'm getting my associates in arts, and then after that, I'm transferring to Fayetteville State myself, because I want to finish off getting my bachelor's in psychology. Yeah.
Why psychology?
And it's crazy because I had a conversation with you. I was outside of school one day. But I have always been interested in psychology, between psychology and sociology, just how, behaviorisms and just the behaviorisms of people and childs and people development and things of that nature. And, we work with kids. So, and then working with football players and seeing certain things and seeing certain behaviors and how they're developing and things of that nature. I wanted to always know, how you can get better at helping. So I wanted to know things like that, how you get better with helping them, how you get better at things of that nature. Like how can you get more efficient of stuff like that? So getting the latitude of things of that nature and being better at that. I wouldn't mind going that route and like I said, just being more efficient and stuff of that nature, and just learning certain behaviorisms and functionalisms of the psychology of the mind and stuff of that nature, especially when you're working with young teenagers. And like I said, I grew up with no father figure, so you're really surprised when you're working with these football players, whether, especially in society now, whether they have a dad or not, it's just the way society is and how they're so easily influenced. It could be music, it could be their best friend, it can be a bad breakup. They're just so easily influenced that, when you see a kid and they vaping in the bathroom and you realize, and that's not you, guy. That's not you. But they're so easily influenced because the guy that they hang out with, he vapes in the bathroom, and you got to have that talk with him sometimes. And to be honest with you, that talk, you don't realize that talk from somebody they look up to or somebody they look towards as a positive influence changes who they are, because they never had that talk. They never had that avenue to have that talk. So again, that behaviorism towards, that behaviorism to want to follow and want to be in the in crowd is something that, I want to start to change. Because, if I can be that change, if I can be what my coach was to me in high school, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm striving to do.
And I commend you for doing it, man. Going back to school at this point while you're coaching, you're working, you're doing multiple things. I know the challenge in that myself. I did that. Also, while I was here, now I'm still managing, multiple things. But I think it's good for our players to see us continuing to chase our dreams and doing stuff outside the game, because one day they're going to be in our situations and having to really understand how to multitask many different things.
Yeah.
Now, man, in terms of your journey, man, what still motivates you to do so?
Just my kids, my boys, and in my family. I wish my grandma was still here to see everything, but my family, my kids, and then, like I said, and then overall to myself, I want more for myself as well. I don't want to be that guy that just sit and be complacent and just swing. I don't want to be that guy. No, I don't want to be swinging that air. I want to be able to hit that home run when it's time for me to step up to the bat. So, I'm in the cave working, and when it's time for me to open up that notebook this time, I want my pages to be laminated.
Absolutely.
That's exactly what it is. Is growth. Next time I'm able to answer that call if somebody is asking me for that coaching job, or because that's ultimately what I want to be. I want to be a head coach. I want to have my own program. So, I was a head coach before and I was highly successful. Yes, I know it was a different tier, but I was highly successful 7 times, and I did it 7 times in a row at that.
Mm-hmm.
So but again, I know it was a different tier, but when somebody asked me next time, when I get that sit down or that call, I want them pages to be laminated, and I want to be able to say, I got this, and comfortably.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty much what it is. And, just to be able to set that example. So.
Absolutely. He going to be ready. Iron sharp as iron, man.
Yeah, I'm going to be ready.
We go for 71st. We don't try to hold nobody back. Ultimately, who knows what happens for both of us in the future, man. But all in all, man, I've enjoyed this journey with you, man. The years we've had, and hopefully we continue to have together.
Yep.
But more importantly, man, I'm happy with your growth. I'm happy that you're motivated to keep going. I was the most excited person when you went back to school. See, this is a side of that people don't get to see.
Yeah.
The laughing, the joking, they think it's only about wins and losses. At the end of the day, man, we bigger than just football coaches. At the end of the day, whether it's out there, it's on and off the field. You know, the problem with the coaching is it just never stops. You know, you're responsible some way, somehow for everything that happens under your watch when you're coaching these players.
Yeah.
It always comes back to you, even if it ain't got nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
It'll come back to you, man. So you're always trying to figure out ways to really help them from a distance and get better. And realistically, man, I'm just amazed of everything you've been through. You know, your journey through the military, getting hurt, not giving up, finding a way to overcome, because I know there's many other people out here like you. And guess what, man? You still living a meaningful life. You didn't give up.
No.
So before I let you go, man, just talk about the fact of not giving up and having to push through that toughest time of your life. You injured, and now what happens?
Yeah, that being hurt in the military, because what it brought on is it brought on epilepsy. I have epilepsy, and you know, I'm having seizures now and all of that stuff. Now fast forward to now, I don't have, you know, I take medicine for my seizures, so I don't have seizures, you know, no more. God has blessed me. It's been 4 years now, but I do still take my medicine. But just fighting through it, just being, you know, I come from Hollywood Heights, you know, neighborhood down there on Cliffdale Road. Hollywood Heights, shout out to Hollywood Heights, all my people there. Shout out to my friends, you know, and all of them. But coming from there, you got to be tough. So I grew up like that. I grew up tough. Sometimes you got to just, you know, suck it up, man, and live day by day. So it's just it wasn't you know, you got, and I actually learned this from y'all, you know, that what is term from y'all. You got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. So that's kind of like where I was at with it. I was just you know, being having seizures, and at one point I wasn't able to drive. You know, legally you can't drive with, you know, with that going on, because I was having back to back seizures.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't able to drive. I wasn't able to work at one time. So it was just kind of like, you know, you kind of just like, man, how do I? And you don't. There's nothing to cure it. You don't. You know, you can be small and have seizures. You can be big and have seizures. You can be tall and have them. You can be short and have them. So it was kind of just like a recovery process. You know, I would just tough it out. I would walk. I would get, you know, sunshine, and just, you know, just fight. That's all I would do, is just, you know, just be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And from there, you know, like I said, I was blessed and continued to do what I had to do. And time progressed, and I just went on and went on and went on and went on. And like I said, I overcame everything. So, you know, Hollywood Heights boy is, you know, I'm successful now. So, like, you know, and everything that I do now, you know, I'm just, like I said, I pray about everything that I do. I give thanks, you know. I talk, you know what I mean? He, you know, and that's where that love come from. But more than anything, whether it's Hall or Henry or Coach Mack, Tompkins and Corvort and all of them, Towns and all of them, Coach DJ, I love the support from them, my family, friends. It's the support, man, and that's what keep me going. Like that, me personally, that's what keeps me going. I love all y'all, man. Like that's what's going to keep me going.
Absolutely,
that's what's going to keep me going. I want to continue to be great with it. That's pretty much everything. Like that's how I feel.
Okay.
Being, like I said, I want to be a positive example, because we need more of them. We need more positive examples out here in the community, because that's where that's what pushed me to where I was at. You know, when Coach Chucky and them was doing it, that's what pushed me, because you know, you didn't always see them. And my uncles, my Uncle Frank, my Uncle Ray, my Uncle Al, you know, my mom, so my granddad, my grandma, all of them. So my family, you know, that's who held it down for me.
Okay. Great shout outs, man. And you actually speaking a little bit on those seizures, man. It always touches when I hear those, man, because I actually lost an uncle, Roger Newton, man, to seizures, man, unexpectedly.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, actually, while I was playing the week that I was playing Richmond County, my first year, defensive coordinator, he passed away, man, to a seizure, and he dealt with seizures his whole life, man.
Wow.
So
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's always touching, man. I'm big on trying to always check in, man, and just try to make sure all of us are okay, man. We deal with it's stressful out there more than anything.
I promise.
So it's always, taking care of our health, working out, whatever we can do to challenge each other. We always doing different stuff to mix it up. But all in all, man, I hate to say this because we in season, but I am proud of him. I definitely am proud of his growth. Yeah. He don't get to hear me say that a lot.
I don't.
On the journey, probably after the season, when we just kick it out, tell him about what they did last season.
In April sometime.
Yeah. Tell him at the clinic. I think I tell him at the clinic to keep him working. But I am proud of you, man. I'm proud of your growth.
Appreciate it.
We got a lot more work to do just in this season, man. Keeping these guys motivated and really, man, we've been coaching around entry since week 1, so we got some work to do, man. Yeah. So I stay on y'all just as much as we can to get what we can out of this group, man. But you already know how I feel about you, man. I love you like you, my brother, for sure, man. Anything I can do, I'll always help you. But I appreciate you coming on today, man. Any lasting shout outs, anything like that you want to give, or anything just in general, how people can be supportive of you or reach out to you, let them know.
Teddy dot Rucks on Instagram, RUKS, on I'm Coach K Smitty on X or Twitter, whatever you call it now. And I'll see y'all on the Friday night games. I didn't shout it out everybody throughout the podcast. I didn't shout out everybody throughout the podcast.
And all our players, man. And you know how we feel about you.
I can't call all y'all, but you play on C Red, hashtag C Red, outside of that, everything else is, that's pretty much how it goes, you know what I'm saying?
All right. Well, y'all hear from Teddy Smith today. Please follow the show, man. As I continue to have other guests on, hopefully me and him will be able to do some things later on when I start talking a bit more game stuff that's going to be going on football-wise about other teams around the state, stuff like that, as we get geared up towards the playoffs. But, man, again, we out today. Look forward to seeing you again in the future.
All right. See you, Red.